If I told you that doing this one thing can help you bring in people who are ready, willing, and wanting to pay you anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 for what you know and what you do, and to help them do the same, would you listen and save this episode and take notes and apply this religiously to your life, into your business, into your empire? If the answer is yes, you are in luck. Because in this episode of the 200K podcast series on the Pageant Gal podcast, we are talking about content that converts. That is right. Social media content is one of, I know I said this with brand, but I'm going to say it with content too. It's one of my favorite things. It's one of the best tools that has truly changed my life. Like when I think about, we have this little device in the palm of our hands that can connect us with people from around the world, that can help us completely change our reality. And like the bigger thing is that it's completely free to use, and yet we can make hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars. That is powerful. Content is so incredibly powerful. And I truly believe and know, especially in the pageant industry, it is very underrated. It's a lot more people wanting to focus on vanity metrics and going viral. But when you actually realize that you can use social media and different types of content, and the things that I'm going to share in today's episode that helped me actually scale my business to $200,000 in the pageant industry, helping women in pageants and in business, you realize, oh, I don't just want to go viral for the sake of going viral. I want to attract people who are ready and willing to pay me and work with me, so that I don't have to sit 8 to 12 hours at a job that I don't enjoy, that I can't take care of myself, that I can't take more than 2 weeks off out of the year. Get ready, because content is such a powerful tool. It's one of my favorite things. I actually did the math the other day. I looked at how many posts I made on Instagram since I started just my business account, the Pageant Gal Instagram. And it's like over 2,700. And I was like, how many posts is that since I started? And long story short, the math ended up coming out that I posted pretty much every single day for the last 7 years, but a little bit more. Like the amount was like 7.5. So 7.5 years, meaning that like almost every single day I've technically posted, although some days I post 2 to 3 times. So I know I've missed some days in that, but the whole thing is that I am not just going to tell you something that's worked for like a little bit. This has been working for the last 7 years, and I've been like really invested in testing it. I've taken a lot of different content trainings. I love learning about content, and you're going to love about it. You're going to love it too, because it's magnetic. It's the thing that can completely change your business. It can change your income, and it is a skill that you have to learn, build, and develop, right? Just like anything. It doesn't just come easy, right? If it was easy, everybody would do it. But after today's episode, you're going to be so much more equipped with earning more income and attracting dream clients. So let's go into it. And I really want to start with, oh, like, where do I want to start this with? I want to start this with, I think, the main different types of content, because this was always something that you could look this up and you could see different things, and you could take different programs, like I said, like I have, and there's different types of content pillars and things like that. But the three things that I really focus on in my content, the three different types of content pillars, and the things that I teach my clients inside of Empire and in my one-on-one business clients as well, is that these are the three types of content that really do bring in paying clients. And I'm not going to go too much into doing a training because we have a lot more of that in my programs. But the first one is the one that I see everybody overdoes, and it's great, but you also need to make sure you're adding in the other two. So it's educational content. This is sharing with people on the internet the knowledge that you know. The knowledge that you know and have to share. And it starts to help them see, like, okay, you're not just someone talking out of your butt. Like, you actually know what you're talking about and you can help me, which is great, right? This is the teaching, the valuable, the how-tos, the problems, the I can help you solve a problem, I can teach you something. That's educational content. That is still valuable. I had to use that over the last year, especially when it came to teaching about the business knowledge I have. Because I have at the time, 6 years of experience with pageant coaching, but I really am just starting to build out the business and empire side of my business. So just because I've built my own successful business, and just because I have a program that teaches others about business and coaching online and content, doesn't mean that people just instantly trust me. Some do, which is amazing. But I also still have to build that trust and that knowledge awareness with my potential clients, so that they see I am not just doing this because I've done it, that I actually know how to help you. The other two types of content that I religiously posted, not just over the last year, but over the last 7 years, was so educational. Personal content. Personal content comes from knowing and sharing your story or micro stories, right? Nobody else can replicate or take your stories. Trust me when I say people have replicated my educational content because I try to make it different, but you know what? Some people will still take it and make it their own. But personal stories, nobody can take my stories. If they did, that's weird. Nobody's had my stories. Nobody has my micro stories. And then it's also personal opinions, right? So I talked about that in the last episode is sharing more bold opinions, spicy opinions, and things like that. Again, those are things that I have that, yeah, other people might share the same opinions, but I really am intentional about sharing that. That's the way that I think and the way that I do things. So educational, personal. And then the third one is promotional. This is where you use social media not just as a way to give free tips and advice and tell stories, but to actually sell and promote yourself and promote your clients and the work that you help them do. So, this is things around your clients and around your programs. And this is something that is really important when we want to go from hoping to get clients to actually making content that brings clients in. Some people aren't hiring you because they don't know what you do. They don't know how you help other people and they don't know what offers you have. And simply by adding in more promotional content about I help my client go from before to after, or my client did this in this amount of time. Here are the three things that we worked on together. Or in this program or in this offer, this is exactly what I'm helping you do. Swipe to see the details, right? Promotional content, promoting your clients, client wins, client transformations, right? Wins don't always just have to mean like, oh, my client won a pageant, here's how, right? Like that's great, but a lot of you might not do pageant coaching, so it's going to be in a different way. And then promoting certain programs. So, three different types of content that I religiously teach and implement and audit for clients and help them. But it's not just the types of content, because the types of content are great. And you can go back through, you could scroll through my Instagram and you'll see one of those three types of content in every single post. But what I also had to focus on was the messaging and not just making content that is simple, vague, and general that doesn't really speak to anybody. I really had to make messaging specific to my dream clients and the women that I wanted to attract who were committed to the journey, who were invested, who were ready to go, and who wanted to go to the top of pageants and business. Messaging is so important, especially when, and here I'm going to call some of you out, especially when all of you, a lot of you who's listening to this, are using ChatGPT to make all your captions and all your content. You're using ChatGPT, you're outsourcing your brain power, you're outsourcing your magic and your words and your wisdom, and then you're wondering why people aren't dropping $3,000 to work with you. It's not even you. It's not even you. So actually learning the skill, like content is a skill and so is messaging. And it's really important that you're not just, being lazy, having something else do it that can never capture your real true voice. And let me tell you, I can go through other people's captions and content right now and I can pinpoint exactly who used ChatGPT and who didn't. And then I look at their business and I'm like, yeah, I'm not surprised. And keep in mind, I started my business in 2019. There was no AI or ChatGPT. And if there was, I didn't even know about it. I actually had to learn the skill of who is my dream client? What are they struggling with? What do they want? How can I actually speak to them? And even to this day, I'm using this and doing this work all the time. So messaging that is specific. And this is how, for example, when I launch an offer, like when I launched the Make It Ring membership, I had 25 paying clients within the first month. That was an extra, I don't remember, 5 or 6 grand made in 1 month because of the messaging and how specific it was. So that is the power of content and specific messaging. When you're speaking specifically to someone, they can look at the content and not just think, okay, this is nice and educational, but they see themselves in it. And they go, oh my gosh, she's literally speaking to me. She's literally speaking to me. When people feel like you're speaking to them and you're seeing them and you're calling them out and you're calling them forward, they're like, here's my credit card. Please charge and let's stay and let's work together. But overall, in the last year, because I didn't launch the membership in the last year, I will say that. But last year, when I had my 200K year, I did have my biggest launch, which was $60,000, over 60K made from one program launch. And 60K, it was not all at once. That's over time that comes in. And I actually made a whole podcast episode about that you can go check out on the Pageant Gal podcast. But another thing, the last thing that I'll say when it comes to content And what I did over the last year that really helped me grow and scale my income was that I started tracking the data and the metrics. And I think I mentioned this in a previous episode. So over the last year, I've hired a virtual assistant to help me with simple, repeatable tasks that I just don't have the time to do anymore. And one of the tasks that I gave her is going through every single month my TikTok, my Instagram, and my emails and looking at the highest engagement. I have to look exactly at what the numbers are. I wouldn't even know how to do this if I tried. But looking at the data of what content actually brings in followers, commenters, and potential ideal clients. So it's not just what ones get the highest views, because that's always nice, but just because a piece of content is getting high views doesn't mean it's bringing in the right people. It could be going viral, it could be getting a lot of engagement, but with people who you don't really want to work with. And that's not what we want when we're building businesses. We don't want a lot of free eyes on our content. Yes, that's good. You need that, but you want people who want to pay you and who you can bring in that are your ideal client who can work with you in the future or now, right? It doesn't have to take a lot of time. So from there, every month, then when I'm strategizing my content, I'm looking at, okay, what worked? What resonated? What words were landing with people? Why did this do well? Is it the look? Is it the copy? Is it both? And even now, going through, this year, I'm looking back at, okay, what was I posting this time last year? When I think about certain programs, I'm looking at what content did really well for certain programs that I could recreate so that I'm not always having to make new things. And I will say I'm a content engine, right? I've been doing this for 7 years. I posted over 2,700 pieces of content just on Instagram. We're not even talking about TikTok in that way. Like I can pump content out like nobody's business, but I also want to work smart. And I also know that when you're learning new skills, that the things that you can do to start realizing what works and helping you work smarter is extremely valuable. So tracking the data of what content did really well and starting to replicate that more and more and repeat it, because just because I made a really great piece of content now, 6 months from now, I'm going to have a bunch of new followers who haven't seen that yet. So again, sometimes you don't always have to rewrite the wheel or make something brand new every time. It's about repurposing what you already have that works. But in order to know what works, we got to track the data. So what you could do, first of every month, look at your analytics online. It's free that you get them. So look at which pieces of content, pick the top 3, the top 5 that did really well, and find a way to recreate them that each month. That's how easy it almost gets to be. And then as you continue to do this, as you start to really intentionally build a content strategy where you don't have to invest $1,000 to $2,000 to $3,000 on a social media marketing team who might not actually get your vibe and the way you speak and who you are. But when you actually invest to learn how to make content that focuses on the 3 content pillars that bring in paying clients, messaging that really attracts dream clients who will spend and invest $5,000, $6,000, $8,000, $10,000 to work with you. Yes, even in pageants, if you're a pageant girly out there. And you're also tracking the data of what works and being intentional about getting better at content. You too can be growing an empire and a business, an online coaching business, whether it's in or out of the pageant space that brings in 6 figures and multiple 6 figures per year, just like I have in this 200K series. That is all for today's episode. And again, if you're someone who is loving this series, you love the work that you do, and you want to start really doubling down on the content that converts and brings in paying clients, then this is your sign to apply for the Empire Mastermind, which is open for enrollment, where one of the main things that we do, and we focus on this every single month and in Telegram together, is reviewing content in your social media so that you can get better at messaging, at content, and bringing in clients from literally across the world who want to pay you because they find you online, they see a piece of content, they're like, I need to pay this woman and hire her. That's literally how you get to build your empire. It's amazing, and it's what I help my clients do. So the link to apply for Empire is below, and I would love to chat with you about what it is that you're building. So go ahead and do that. Send me a message at the Pageant Gal and let me know your biggest takeaway from this episode if you're going to be doubling down on content. And I will see you in the very last episode of the 200K series, which is out, and you can go listen to it right now.